You're right back on the couch.
The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Red and gold on the edge of the sky, feel the rumble, hear the battle cry. Out in Ames where the storms ignite, we don't back down, we rise and fight. Jack Trice's name, yeah, it echoes strong. A story of honor still marches on. Through the rain, through the pain, through the fire we roar, 'cause we were built to thrive in the eye of the storm. Feel the ground shake, hear the crowd roar. Cyclone power, can't take no more. Legends rise, this is our norm. We stand tall in the eye of the storm. There's a cyclone blowing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Milton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall.
This side of the storm, when we talk all things Cyclones, we are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company out of Osceola, Iowa, and Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Had a nice evening there on Friday, and our newest sponsor, Naked Dave's. Brent, you have missed out on this one. You're going to love it. And we welcome back, obviously, Style by JJ Boutique. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm Team partners and Cyclone greats, Mr. Vintage. Welcome back, Mr. Brent Big Play Curvey. How are you tonight?
Oh man, I'm here. Can't complain. Getting ready for another week, man.
And of course, the legend and legend Marcus Pfizer. If I could show you,
Ooh.
What do you think of that there, huh?
It's a foul, ref.
When I was chasing that ball down, something had to happen. Somebody grabbed my arm or something. You see the way I was focused? That was I don't know where this ball finna go. Look, I don't dribble with my head down like that.
I thought that's pretty sweet. Have any of you guys ever gone online to look for yourself on eBay just to see what's out there with your name or jerseys or cards like that?
No have.
Wasn't
No?
a good deal at market, so I probably don't have none of that. So I'm cool.
Yeah, but
I
Brent,
never
even remember that back in the day, Iowa State, the athletics department used to have that big garage sale. And to be honest, I don't know if they'd still do that. And so I used to go up there. I remember taking my little one up. He was probably 4 or 5, just going through. And of course, the shoes up there are for you guys that are size 10.5 triple wides that you can never wear as a 5 or 6-year-old. But you could buy some of the clothes. Now, I think now they give them to the athletes, but back in the day, you could, as fans, we could go buy them. I would not be surprised if you've got some jerseys out there.
Yeah, I got shit as cheap as it was back then. I got my jerseys. Got about 3 of them hanging up in the closet right now. I need to mount actually, but yeah, they do a thing now at Iowa State though. It's an auction day on Wednesdays. They do the same type of thing, but it's a lot of sports stuff, school stuff. It's a lot of stuff on Wednesdays. It's only one day during the week though.
Oh, really? What, they do that every Wednesday or like one Wednesday a year? Or?
It's kind of like exhibitions or something like that. It's at a building off of I have to chase the address down for you, but they were selling the lockers, like old basketball lockers. There was like some football lockers because I was trying to grab a football locker, but I got there too late, and I missed out on it. But
What?
they were getting rid of the Jacobson building.
What would you have done with your old locker?
Same thing.
I mean, it
Someone
was
else doing,
cool.
just memorabilia.
Yeah, it would have been memorabilia. I could have put get a name plaque up there, just like a locker. You set up your own locker room, so hang your jerseys up, make your little trophy room or whatever. Have your locker in there.
I have a feeling you guys' locker was probably a lot nicer than my high school locker. So that's what I'm envisioning. I forgot you guys got, well, maybe not you, but a lot of Marcus was telling us last week about the airplane rides and how nice the private jets were while playing for the Bulls. And I could imagine you guys had nicer lockers, much nicer than a local high school.
They're now probably crazier.
Oh yeah. Because the college locker rooms are, so I already know they're way different now.
Come to think of it, last time I was back, I didn't even go into the locker rooms.
Change that. We got to get you to come back so you can go check them out.
I don't know why I don't remember not going into the locker room, because the whole dinner thing that Coach Prom used to do, and everyone sitting on the floor. I don't know why I just didn't go back into the locker room. Oh, maybe bad times just thinking about the locker room.
Well, it was another good week for us as Cyclones and Cyclone fans. The men's basketball team obviously played today. Just another dominating first half against Kansas State. They in their multi-purple color jersey that just threw all of us on our text chain for like, what the hell is this? Well, come to find out, apparently that was a style back in the 70s where you played the YMCA league and you had a lighter shirt and a darker pant. Iowa State comes out ahead 95-61, and what John and Eric on the radio had said was the biggest conference biggest conference road win in Iowa State history. So that's a pretty big deal. The Cyclone shooting 55% from the field, 52% from three. Jefferson with 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Momcilovic continues to stay hot with 18 points on 5 of 9 shooting from three. You've got to be kidding me. How does he continue to shoot the three so well? Just a remarkable.
When in doubt, shoot. Otherwise, shoot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Killian Torrey with 13. Taman Lipsey with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and just 1 turnover. That's quite the assist-to-turnover ratio of 9-1. And how many? 4 steals. Like, the guy's just doing it all out there right now. The slow start seemed to be a thing of the past. This game, we were up 50-21 at half. The last few weeks have really been on a tear, where Saturday it was 51-21 against Oklahoma State. On Tuesday at halftime, it was 52-29 against Colorado. All big wins by the Cyclones. Any takeaways from watching the men in the last week or two, and the fact that they've gone out so strong, and instead of really testing the waters and seeing how the other team was going to play, they just come out and just impose their own will and just they're punching the other team in the mouth?
Well, I think they've honed in, the mistakes that happened with the 2 losses with Kansas and Cincinnati, not to take anything away from them, especially Kansas on the road. So things get a lot better, a lot brighter. When you face some teams that's not as good as those teams, and, you get W's against those opponents, you continue to rack it up. And, I think we're just dialed in right now to playing really good basketball.
And we should also say, Marcus, this is your flu game, your Michael Jordan playoff game. Everyone in your house has been sick.
Yeah,
you are sniffling a little bit, but
yeah. But I don't have the flu or COVID per the test, and per Michael Jordan, he didn't have the flu either. that's another story for
that's another good story, by the way, that we're all in tuned up. Marcus, one thing that you had said in the text chain earlier in the week, or it might have been even today, that Jamarian Bateman, the freshman, very talented. He has some games where he plays a lot. He's a dynamic scorer. He does a lot even when he's not scoring, though, from a defensive standpoint, from a ball pressure.
Right.
But you made a nice comparison between one of your fellow teammates.
Yeah, he and Mike Nurse. Once he touches it, he just have that jump shot so dialed in. Mike's shot was a little quirky. Maybe he put it up a whole lot that it looked quirky. It was more of a line drive, but once it hit the nets, it just went straight down. And I see a lot of the same in this kid. Like, he has total confidence. Once you rise up, that's one of the things that I try to teach my kids, especially my son, when he's shooting. He's 6'6". I'm like, dude, nobody's going to block that. Like, just go ahead, just understand where you are. They already don't want to get close enough because it's going to be a foul. They can't land in your, contest in your landing path. Once you jump and get your extension and everything before them, they're not going to catch up to blocking it. So it doesn't matter what they do. If they even try to put their hand in your face, by the time you've got your hand in my vision and I've locked in on the rim, the ball is gone. So once you have that feeling, same way with Milan right now, he has the feeling that, they're bigger, players. Once they get locked in like that, there's nothing you really can do to stop it.
Well, and as we're talking about players, Brett, Milan Momcilovic just continues to stay on a hot streak. The guy's shooting like 54% from three.
That's bananas.
It is. I mean,
that's crazy.
Brent, as we're watching this guy, like, as a fan, as and I know your first love is basketball. What are your thoughts on watching this incredible streak that Momcilovic is on this season?
I mean, shit, when you hot, man. And I think he finally got the memo from Marcus. It's time to shoot. And shoot, you know what I'm saying? So just a good thing, man. And that's the biggest, piece of biggest thing about shooters too. You kind of find them, and the goal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Once you see those first couple go through, things get a lot easier. So he's finding his confidence in his room. Love to watch the kid go, man. Let him keep listening to Marcus. We'll be good to go.
Well, and I think I've seen this before, but a traditional rim, what you can fit 2 basketballs in at once, is that right? Does that seem right?
Yeah, simultaneously, on a good timing of it, they both will go in at the same time.
What's it like as a player knowing that you're on such a hot streak where you can throw that ball up and you feel like you're shooting into the ocean, that it's so big, everything you shoot's going in like that?
When you're dialed in like that, like it's a great feeling, because that, hindsight is 2020. On the other half is where if you're not dialed in, it doesn't matter. It seems like how big the ocean is, it's just not going to go in. But when you really have it dialed in, and I remember times in my career, even late in my career, when I actually came out here to Vegas to work out for a couple of NBA teams and to train at this NBA facility. And, it was just really, really showing what you continuously can do. And they had me shooting like super deep NBA threes. And once even Craig Brackens was out here with us. Craig was out here. A couple other people was out here with us. Will Clyburn. Yeah. Will Clyburn. A couple guys out here with us. And, and a lot of them was like, man, we didn't know you could shoot it like this. And I was like, I just never had the opportunity to. Like, it was just, nothing that they asked me to do. But once you feeling good like that, it's just, no matter where you put it up, you have that feeling and that touch. And again, I try to tell my kids, you should be able to feel once the ball leaves your hand that it's not going in, or if it's going in, or if it don't go in, you should be like, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? Or if it did go in, you should be like, oh, that was a lucky one. That didn't really feel right. But if it does miss, if I give you 3 shots and you miss the first one, the second and the third one, for sure the third one, but that second or the third one should go in, because now you're able to adjust it. And I try to tell Junior that all the time. And these kids, all they do is get mad. They get mad with the fact that it's supposed to go in. Well, understand that you're not going to make them all. Steph Curry, I've seen him be 2 for 28 for the 3. And then the next game, he's going to come out. He's still going to shoot 28 threes if they give him 28 shots. You just got to lock yourself in. You got to be dialed in. And once you have that feeling, it doesn't matter what's going on. Fade away, straight up and down off the dribble. You just know where it is. And it's, it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah,
And
they
fellas,
my son calls that the flow state. I mean,
Mhm.
I experienced that in football too, right? You kind of get in that basketball, you in the zone, and football, it's like no matter what I do, whatever move I make, I'm winning. You just kind of get in that flow state, and it don't matter what they do, you're still on point. So
Too easy. Like when it says too easy.
that's it.
well, and I like the fact that this team comes out in that flow right away, right? In games past, they'll start slow and then they'll turn it on about halftime, and then the rest is history. But now it's just they come out and they're just going 100 miles an hour, which you look up as a team. If you're the opposing team, you're looking at the scoreboard going, "We're down by 30 points. It's halftime. You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah, I said earlier in the chain, they've made it boring here as of late. I like to see competitive games. Of course, I would like the dub every single time. Not particular, even as a player, I didn't really like blowouts because when you're playing down to competition or you're blowing the teams out, they're not playing as hard as they should be playing. So you really don't know, what's going on. You don't know what you got to work on. When you do play a higher caliber team, what's going to happen? So again, like I said, we was watching earlier. I was like, man, they made it. At halftime, we up by 30. Like, damn, got out that quick. But to get the dub, to be dialed in and things like that is always great. Let's just keep rolling.
Do you see any differences? We went through that 2-game losing streak against Cincinnati and Kansas. Do you see a difference in whether it's offense or defense? There's some things that I've seen, but I want to get you guys' perspective on things that you are seeing that has made that shift. Again, before those 2 losses, slow starts, and they probably nipped us in those 2 games because they were tough to come back. These games, we've come out right away, much more aggressive. What are some things that you two are seeing?
Baby.
Well, I didn't watch the games. I can't tell you nothing. So I am turning it right back on over to Marcus.
Oh, you didn't watch the one today? Yeah. Well, the things that I've just noticed, mainly it's just the defense. Once you really pick it up on the defensive end, Tatum gets in the passing lane and get a couple steals. That really when you see, for me, I used to always be jealous when other players, especially Stevie, get steals. And Jamal gets steals, like because you sitting around, you don't have no steals. I'm like, now, you say, oh, he's trying to jump the gun. Man, I got that gun cocked, ready to jump and try to get a steal all day long. It really turns up the camaraderie of on the defensive end, getting steals, getting on the break, everybody running, having fun. You got the momentum. They call a timeout. So I think that's the biggest thing, that we've locked in. I think TJ really understood that that's the problem that we had, in the 2 games that we lost. Wasn't necessarily offense, it doesn't matter. Milan scored a lot of points in those games that we lost, and we still lost them. So it really doesn't matter about the points we're scoring. You got to get stops.
I totally agree with that assessment. The Cyclone team is using their defense to turn into offense.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of easy points that by turnovers that the other teams are not getting. So if we're able to score 20 points more than the other team just off of turnovers, now the opposing team has to make up 20 points somewhere, and they're just not able to do it with our defense. They're just all over the place. That's a good call. I'm glad I'm seeing the same things. Another thing that I like is the ball movement. I mean, there are times, in particular, the last game was on Thursday night, where there was a back cut and the ball, and I think it was Taman that threw the ball, or Torre that threw the ball to Heisey. Heisey was cutting down the middle, and the ball went right behind the defender's head. He didn't even see it, but it was such a great cut, great pass that the ball movement is just incredible. I think there was several possessions today that everybody touched the ball before the shot was even made. It is incredible.
Yeah, it's passing with a purpose. Understanding and knowing what the defense is going to give you, and to touch on that point, I I remember doing this game today. As soon as Josh got the ball like mid post, not really on the post, not really at the 3, they came with the double, and he pivoted, towards the baseline, and he was able to make a easy drop pass, bounce pass to, I think it was Heisey in the corner. He didn't end up shooting it. He ended up swinging it, swing, and then, off the dribble when we scored. So it's like, what's going on. You know what the double team is coming from. It's not just because you've seen some teams get too pretty with it. They pass, and this guy passed, he penetrated and passed it. And he was like, somebody got to get a shot. Now you got 3 seconds on the shot clock. You trying to throw the ball up. That's not the kind of passing we're doing. This passing is with the purpose. If you don't have to pass it, go ahead and make the move and score. But once the defense comes, where the open guy is going to be. It's that hockey pass. Josh knew he wasn't going to probably get the assist, from Heisey in the corner, but he knew once he passes to him in the corner, the rotation is going to be down. He passes to the next guy, that rotation is going to be over, and then the guy up top was wide open. I forget who it was. I think maybe it was Tammy. Took it off the dribble and made a short jump shot in the lane. So that kind of basketball is real sexy. We love that type of basketball as long as we can stay sexy with it and keep going.
And I didn't point this out, but Marcus, I'm wearing the reverse hat.
I saw it.
I was doing some cleaning last weekend, and I haven't seen this forever. This is the old tailgate hat there.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Remember that? And
one that color.
I love it. I totally forgot I had this hat.
I've never seen one that color. I want one bad. I've never seen one that color.
I'll be on the lookout. Brent, do you have
Maybe I go on eBay.
I don't. I've never seen that either, actually.
I've never seen that color.
I bet I can find one that's been signed by both of you on eBay.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I've signed a ton of things, so I really couldn't tell you. I've never signed body parts. I don't sign body parts.
Just hats and clothing.
Just memorabilia and stuff.
One concern, and this kind of came up in our text chain earlier today too, is TJ's been keeping in some players a lot longer than I think that we've been comfortable with. Is it keeping the starters in too long? And I just say that because this is the Final Four potential team. On the women's side, we've seen what happens when you've got some injuries. And even last year, we saw when Momcilovic was hurt and out for several games, totally different teams. And we are absolutely on fire. We look like a top seed. And I guess that's my concern is someone gets hurt, steps on an ankle, rolls an ankle, whatever, and you've got 4 minutes left and you're up by 30. I guess that's my only complaint in all of this is, are we keeping players in a little bit too long?
I mean, 4 minutes in up by 30, clearly it's time to pull my guys out. But, I get what you're saying too with, resting guys and making sure we kind of go in there. But the reality is in ball, you're going to get hurt. Like, you can't necessarily prevent it. But when we're blowing somebody out like that, we should, pull them out a little, and let them rest up a hair. So.
Yeah, the last two games or so were there were blowouts, and I think Chris is the one that said it's time to start pulling some guys. And what I was doing, cooking or cleaning in the kitchen and not really paying attention to it because it's gotten boring. And when I see the text chain and he said that, and I look up and I'm like, yeah, it's time to get those guys out. But at the same time, as players, if Josh sitting at 18-8-8, he's not trying to come out. I can understand why he's not trying to come out. If Momcilovic has 35 points and we up and we running, and I'm trying to go for 40, I'm not trying to come out the game. But as a coach now, you got to pull those guys. You got to pull them.
Is it something where TJ's trying to send a message to his team that we play hard all the way from the opening tip to the last whistle of the game? I mean, is it like that? Is he sending a message to the selection committee that in retrospect, we've lost 2 games that maybe we should not have, but perhaps help us to reset a little bit and get our bearings again? Do we think that there's a reason for it? It seems like you hit 90 points and then that's where he tends to back it off. In his mind, does he have a number in mind that he's shooting for, going, okay, hit 90 and then I'll make a change?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, like I said, players have aspirations and records and stuff they want to set. You know, coaches is the same way. You know, this is the highest scoring team that we've had in years. You know, even beyond past my team, everything like that. So maybe that's something that he wants to do. I don't necessarily think, you know, for the selection committee, you really can't fool them too much. You know, they mind is set on what they want to set on. I mean, we've been as high as number 2 in the nation this year for a substantial amount of the season. And I already heard some people say, you know, Iowa State, you know, sitting pretty on the 2 line right now. I'm like, it doesn't matter if we were number 2 in the nation; they still going to try to put us on the number 2 line. That's just the mindset that they have. So I think those 2 games are 2 games that we lost. You know, again, don't take anything away from those ball clubs and those programs. Not necessarily feeling like those are 2 games that we shouldn't have lost. I knew that Kansas one was going to be a tough one. If there was going to be one that we were going to lose, it definitely was going to be that one. The Cincinnati one was a surprise. But again, the Big 12, not too surprised about that loss. I don't think those 2 losses really, you know, there's just 2 losses. You know, you want to be 100% and damn near everything you do, but you're fooled to think that you're going to be. I think as strong as our team is, you know, it's pretty much known what we can do, what we're going to bring to the tournament. I just think, you know, TJ is just really playing the devil's advocate from both of, you know, trying to satisfy the players, keep them rolling, keep them in the swing of things. You know, prayerfully doesn't have you saying rolling ankles and, you know, things and stuff like that. We seeing so many things like Achilles and the ACLs and stuff. That's what I'm more concerned about. But at the same time, you know, if it's not going deep into a minute and a half and stuff like that, and we're in control, you know, get the guys out, let the younger guys play, guys that really don't play that much, and you know, see what happens from there.
Brent, did you hear Marcus talking about this team scoring more points than his team? Like, Marcus's team's probably only averaged 40 points because they were beating up all the other teams, and like there wasn't a chance to score more. It was slow paced, and you guys get outrun a little bit with Jamal, but come on now.
Yeah, we averaged 40 points.
So earlier in the day, according to Ken Palm, Iowa State offense was number 6. And Iowa State defense was number 6, which is a pretty good indicator of where Iowa State is from a team perspective. And, you know, if you had any doubts of it being a Final Four worthy quality team, those 2 numbers tell the story that this is an exceptional team that, you know, we've gone through the big portion of the Big 12 schedule, but we still have the more difficult part coming up, and we've kind of talked about that, where we wish that we had some of these other games sprinkled in earlier in the year, but nonetheless, they come through in about a 3-week period. So we've got the bye week this week. Well, I call it a bye week, but no game in the middle of the week. At home against on Saturday against Baylor, and then Tuesday the 10th at TCU, which they've been struggling a little bit, and then back at home on Valentine's Day against Kansas. Hopefully that's a Valentine's Day massacre. And then that big Monday game against Houston, followed by at BYU, at Utah, at home against Texas Tech, and then at number 1 Arizona to finish out the season. So pretty important part of the schedule still yet to come.
Yeah, there's going to be some tough games. I saw like the top 10 earlier. We got 3 teams in the Big 12 that's in the top 10, and you know, not to be Iowa State biased, but I'm going to be. But it's some damn good teams. Even Freddie's team in Nebraska, like it's some good teams. Like you've seen, you know, top teams lose and then teams fall back and then teams go up, you know, because of their win. It's some good teams. I didn't foresee us falling back to 9. Now we're at 8 or whatever. But I've been watching a lot of these games. I watched the Michigan State game the other day.
That's tough. Yeah.
It was a really good game. And I'm glad Michigan State lost. But it's a really, really tough team. Arizona is dangerous. Arizona is really, really good. They're really dangerous, really good. And like I said, Freddie has got those guys out there in Nebraska playing extremely well. You got UConn, Coach Hurley always going to have those guys up, and everyone else is in the top 10. So it's going to be some bang out games. That Texas Tech game really scared me, because they match up with us extremely well, always have. I don't know what's going on with BYU right now. I don't know if the young fella is thinking about the number 1 and number 2 pick, but they're kind of in the middle of the road of what's going on with them in the conference. But it's going to be tough outings going forward. And we know what that big Monday game is going to be.
Yeah, big part of schedule. So let's take a first break. Hear a word from our sponsor. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll talk some women's basketball.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest: Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside, and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations: Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with, a meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for: balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, where Iowa comes for steak, done right.
All right, we are back. Actually, I had a chance to visit and go to Iowa Beef Steakhouse on Friday evening, and they have some fantastic drinks. And the old fashioned is exactly how it's been described. And I'll show you here. Still working on my honey whiskey with Revelton. Boy, this is really good. Marcus, I'm sure this is something that you don't regularly have access to, where Brent and I have the luxury of being right here in central Iowa, but they do ship to multiple states. Ironically, they don't ship within Iowa, so we got to go to the grocery store to get it, but that's okay. And if I have work events down in Missouri, I have a chance to head up and grab, stop into Osceola to the distillery right there, and great spot, great people there with Rob and Christy Taylor. So we thank them for being our sponsors. So the women, you guys know that I'm a season ticket holder, and I'm just a absolute fan of this women's team. Still dealing with the loss of Addie Brown. Have not heard yet back when she'll return. They went through the 5-game losing streak. Now they've turned things around, though. They've got a 4-game winning streak with a huge win early in the week on Wednesday against Texas Tech in Lubbock, 84-70. it felt like they were just pounding Addie Crooks down low early and often. She finished with 33 points and 12 rebounds. Jada Williams had 9 assists with just 1 turnover. So she's really doing a great job at taking care of the ball. And she's becoming that scorer, that other option that we've been looking for. And I wouldn't call her an outstanding shooter, but she's an elite scorer where she just takes it to the rim and does a lot of good things. Overall, defensively, they're a lot like the men in that they've really picked it up on the defensive side and using their defense to turn into offense, and really led by, I'm going to screw this name up, but we'll just call her EP. She does an outstanding job. She's been starting the last couple of games, and she just comes in and does all the gritty stuff from an offensive and defensive rebounds, keeping balls alive. I can't tell you how many times that I saw her diving for something on the floor, whether it's diving for a jump ball or a tip or something. It's just a lot of fun to watch. Sid Harris finished with 13 points and 12 rebounds for a double-double. That was really a lot of fun to see. Wednesday's game against UCF, or excuse me, last night's game against UCF, team really struggled shooting at times between from the outside. I think they were 1 for 15 without the help of EP, who was 2 for 4. And then Ariana Jackson was 6 for 12 from 3. So she looks like Momcilovic out there, and she's really come back to be the scorer that we want her to be. And she's just, she does all the things well on the defensive side still, but she's really stepped things up on an offensive standpoint. In the women, they look really, really good right now. Yesterday against UCF, Audie Crooks has this incredible game streak where she's had double-digit points in every single game, but that very first game of her career. Well, yesterday she only had 6 points, like middle of the fourth quarter. I think a lot of us were getting a little nervous. She had early foul troubles, but she did end up finishing with 10 points and 13 rebounds. So the women look good. Now 18-5, 6-5 in conference. They too have a chance to really start to elevate what, that 5-game losing streak really took a lot out, but they have a chance here with 7 games left to get back in the win column. And maybe if they reel off 6 out of 7 here, they could be in a really good spot coming into the Big 12 tournament. I'm not sure if you guys, I know I have a little bit more time to be able to watch some of the women games. Have you been able to watch the games this week?
I'm a student again, fellas. So I've been locked in, man. So I've been so away from sports. I got back into school, so I.
Wait. You have news for us? You're a student again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a student again, man. So that's why I've been kind of out of the loop with the sports thing, because actually I haven't watched TV, haven't done much of nothing. So I've been back in school, man, trying to get this finished what I started years ago.
We're going to call you Dr. Curvey here soon, huh?
I don't know if I want to go back to school that much longer, but shit. I like the ring to it though.
So with Ariana Jackson though, she's one of the things I've liked is she's not been hesitant at all when she's come back. I think as a player that's been injured, as a fan, I get a little worried that they'll come back and be a little bit hesitant, and haven't seen any rust from her at all. She had a team high or a career high 18 points with all the threes that she made. She really looks good. The women too have their bye week this week. So a lot of basketball coming up. They've got a big game on the 22nd at TCU. But again, they've got a chance to finish strong. They've got that loop that we talked about last week, Marcus, where they're at Utah on Saturday. And then I did find out that they are going to stay in Utah, play BYU on the following Tuesday. So we've got some games for the women coming up here. And just a quick shout out here to Coach Fenn. We talked a little bit about last week that he had his 300th conference win. as women's basketball coach. Well, now he's the all-time Big 12 conference winner with, they were celebrating, I think, win number 297. Of course, this is pregame. Then they won, and now he's got 298 career conference victory, Big 12 conference victories for Coach Fennelly. So congrats out of him. And then pregame as well.
Cody things.
Yeah. Then pregame, Audie Crooks was celebrated for her 2,000 career points that she was able to achieve at Texas Tech. And in that same Texas Tech game, then Jada Williams scored her 1,000th point between Arizona and Iowa State. So congrats to those ladies for those big milestones. Marcus, you remember how many points you scored for Iowa State?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I should have looked it up.
I know I almost scored 1,000 in the season, but no, I don't. No.
But 2,000 and 1,000 points, that's a really big deal. You know, that's something to certainly celebrate. And I think Audie is, in fact, if memory serves me, she's like the fastest to 2,000 points in Big 12 history as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's a big deal. The ESPN bracketology has the women as a 10 seed. I looked this evening. They have them slotted for Nashville again. Got a lot of basketball left to play between the 7 conference games and the Big 12 tournament, but the women can move up. Maybe they get a first round bye in the Big 12 tournament if they can continue playing. So I want to take another break. Brent, have you seen this new Naked Dave's commercial?
No.
Can we expect to see Naked Dave's in your Coach's Kolaches?
I don't know. We got to check them out. I need to get me some of that seasoning, man. Check them out.
All right. Well, here we go. Here's a broadcast debut for you, Brent. Marcus and I had a chance to see it last week, and it's 2 familiar faces from Three Beards Media.
Welcome back to Cooking with Billy and Willie. We're already in progress because great cooking doesn't wait. Today, we're turning things up with Naked Dave's seasoning and sauces.
You know, this chicken and the beef here and all this stuff is fantastic. It tastes fantastic with this Naked Dave stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, this barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the commercial for Naked Daves. That's why we're like pretend like we're naked. We pretend like we're naked, and then we eat. It'll be a good commercial.
It will be, for sure.
Hey, why are you really naked? You didn't have to be all the way naked. We were pretend.
It's supposed to, I wanted it to be like realistic, you know, like
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis or
well,
something.
one thing you can keep the chair after this. Where's the director?
What's the problem? What is your guys' problem? It's fine.
What? Why's he naked?
I told him we were doing a naked commercial at your house.
This is like the worst porno flick ever.
It's Naked Dave. Look at Dave.
It really is good.
If you want bold flavor that doesn't hold back, try Naked Dave's seasoning and sauces. Find it at your local Hy-Vee grocery store. Ask your grocer to carry it or order online today at www.littlewolffoods.com. And remember, Naked Dave's, you don't have to be naked to use it.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
All right, we are back, and with Valentine's Day right around the corner, you might want to give Style by JJ's Boutique a call and get set up for an appointment to go in for some style work. I know our friend Chris Shipley had a chance to get in there. he had a big event, and Julia Bradshaw was able to hook him up and get him ready for that event, get him dressed, had him looking good. And then, of course, Brent, you and I are going to see 50-degree weather next week. So that's a prime time to start grilling and cooking outdoors. So I got to get in and get me some Naked Dave seasoning for grilling out. Okay, Brent. Yeah, I know 50 degrees is your low. For us, we're in shorts and T-shirts in 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's 60 degrees right now at 6:53 p.m.
Oh.
Hey, man, look, Ship, Billy, and Willie, they need to see some sun. I don't needs to be some sun in there, man. Their bodies need to figure that out next time they, shoot one of them naked commercials.
I'm just glad I wasn't included because I think with my name. All right. Hey, Brent, I asked Marcus this last week, but the whole Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant and, going into different arenas and stadiums. And I'm sure that like Juicy Wiggle drives people nuts when they come to Ames. Was there a school that just drove you nuts with their chant or their music selection, or as a player that you just were on the sidelines and you thought, I hate that song, or I hate the way that they do that? Was there a team for you as a player that just sort of annoyed you?
Honestly, I can't say that I remember a lot of it. Like I think once I was on the field, like when I say nothing else mattered, like nothing else mattered. Like I could was there in the whole nine, like you might come off in between plays towards the end of the game or something, and you might start to hear stuff, but chants and cheers for her. The only thing that caught me off guard was like, oh, this shit is real. It's Texas A&M Stadium, just because they run, so every row goes opposite. So it looks like the stadium is moving. It's the only thing that ever caught me off guard.
Wow.
They're both men. You can look it up. Shit's crazy, but they all sync, and they are all in sync too. So when one row goes right, the other row is going left, and it goes all the way up. But I never heard anything, honestly, because it was so I was in tune with what the offense was saying, these guys were saying and communicating, so that I could pick up on something, so that I could try to make a play. Everything else was just, it was for everybody else. I heard none of that stuff.
Another question I had for you from last week is, we've talked ad nauseum about NIL and how students and players could literally play for 5 different schools throughout their career. And what are your thoughts on players or in schools in this era retiring jerseys for the same athlete at multiple schools? Do you think that we're going to see some of that happening? I think in the NBA, we talked last week about a guy like LeBron. I think all of us can understand that he's going to see his jersey hung from the rafters at different schools. Shaq, he's going to get, or he's had his jersey hung in Orlando and in LA, and I think Miami as well, but I'm not quite certain on that one. What are your thoughts on multiple jerseys for the same player at different schools?
I don't know, man. I don't. I'm not a fan of it at each school, because I think each school, prior to this NIL stuff, to play at a certain school, there was a history behind it. So for you to be considered to be in the Hall of Fame, you had to do so much, and that sort of thing. So the idea of a guy transferring in for a year, and now he surpasses all of these other greats, I just don't think that should be legacy of the school. I think if those guys are there for the majority and they're in the records and they're breaking all of these things, different story. But I think with the guys that are like, in and out, I don't think that's fair to, all the guys that kind of really put that time in at that program, developed there and poured into it. I don't think that's fair for them out of it. So I'm not a fan of it. Because I mean, shit, you said 5. Some guys are playing for 5 schools. Shit, some of these dudes are playing for 6. I mean,
Yeah.
my friend sent me some. It was a kid that played for damn near 6 schools in the Big Ten. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Well, let's
Like,
not
that is-
let's not forget Shedeur Sanders. I think wasn't his jersey retired with Colorado after 2 years, and Travis Hunter, I can understand he won the Heisman, but I'm not sure about Shedeur.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't know what Shedeur did for Colorado. I know what he did and what he meant to Jacksonville State and the whole nine, kind of turned him around. He did definitely help, and Travis Hunter was part of that too. He did help with Colorado too, in a sense, but I don't know about Shedeur in that sense. Like I said, Travis Hunter, he wins the Heisman. It's a little different, right? But yeah, putting some time in them schools, man, to create some sort of substance there, for me, is what, says, hey, we need to retire this number.
So I know both of you really love football and the NFL. How is it that Bill Belichick does not get voted into the Hall of Fame in his first year? How does that happen? And do you agree with it?
Oh my God, I 100% don't agree with that at all. Because you hear the whispers about why they say maybe not with the whole Deflategate and Spike, but that's all of that era is Tom Brady too. And when he's eligible to be a first ballot Hall of Fame, are you telling me that he's not going to be? I don't know who made that call. There's a lot of current Hall of Famers, to be Hall of Famers, people who know about the Hall of Fame that are livid behind that, because there's no way in hell you would make me believe that he wasn't going to be a first ballot, like unanimous decision. And next year they probably will be unanimous. But why take that away from him? That kind of a caliber coach who sits with 4 rings on one hand and 4 rings on the other, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that kind of blew me, man. Blew my mind, because shit, if he doesn't go first ballot, and I know Mike Tomlin won't, and I love what Mike Tomlin did all of those years too. So, I hated to hear that, man. And like having all it's always the powers that be that dictate the guys that are going. Like, he's a guy that, without a shadow of a doubt, hell of a coach. Him and Tom Brady were attached at the hip, obviously, for all of that success. So there's no reason Tom's going to be a first ballot. Like, everybody knows it, and everybody knew Belichick was too. But that's just one of those. We're just going to set the tone for him, just so he knows he's not that, and then we'll let him in next year. It's kind of fucking
to me. I've heard some. I don't know how true it is. I don't even know how it works, but I've heard like some rumblings about the committee changing that decision and switching it, or I don't know if that's even something that can be done. From what I hear, that the Hall in totality is upset about who voted and who didn't, and how that occurred. I don't think I think Coach Tomlin, Mike Tomlin, will probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer, because they're not. I don't think they're going to let this egregious act happen again. And so it's that it's one of those things you think you never lived to see in your lifetime, and when it happened, when I saw it came across, it said Bill Belichick, I said, you got to be kidding me. Like, who's getting fired? Because that makes absolutely no sense. And it was ESPN, CNN, my alerts on my phone, it coming out. There's no way in hell that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And true to form, how Bill is, he trolled a little bit, but he's not going to say anything, because he knows, what he deserves and where he's supposed to be with that voting. But yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of a bad week for him. Not only did he not get in the Hall of Fame, but I think I saw somewhere that he and his young girlfriend broke up.
I don't know if that's necessarily bad. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing for him. Maybe that was a business decision.
Well,
2 crazy business decisions.
You talked about Mike Tomlin. I think he's a Hall of Famer. he coached 18 years, never had a losing record, won a Super Bowl. 18, 19, never, never or won a Super Bowl. Like, I would love, as a Cowboys fan, I would love for Tomlin to be my coach.
Mm.
He's just a class. He coaches the right way. He knows how to win. I would love to see him as a Cowboys coach.
I think he's doing a little bit what Peyton did. Sean Payton did.
Yeah.
Take a year off, see how things unfold, because it was his pick of the litter if he wanted to coach this year.
Yeah.
So I think the Steelers still have to pay him this year. If he goes somewhere else, somebody else has to pay him. So he's not going to be missing any paychecks or anything like that. But taking a break for a year to sit back and see what happens, see how things unfold, be able to take your pick to see where these top picks are gonna go. I would love to see him out here in Vegas. I'm not gonna. I see that they're going to be hiring
Dallas.
You said Dallas? I see they're going to be hiring the guy from I think the Cardinals offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that was just announced today.
Yeah. So we see how they do for him if they give him a year or some time to see what happens. But you guys got a coach. Like, what are you talking about? It's a Schottenheimer blood. It should be, like the Shanahan's kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
All right. So as we close the show, I know you guys have seen a lot of weird stuff happen in sports. Did you see the one where I think it just happened today, maybe yesterday, where the coach was handcuffed after the game and detained?
No. Why?
Well, let me see if this if I can pull this up. So this was on Twitter here.
Please don't tell me it's ice.
No, what? No ice.
Oh, okay.
So in this particular case, the coach, they went through the handshake line, and apparently the other team's coach, the other team had football players were out there, and they intermingled with the basketball team and decided that they would go ahead and jump in the same handshake line as the basketball players.
And he got arrested for that?
Somehow, some way. This is between, let me look it up. I want to say that's an interesting view there. Sorry, got to bring Brent back in. It was between Tuskegee and Morehouse.
Okay.
A Morehouse football player jumped into the handshake line, and the opposing coach, Benji Taylor, asked security to have them removed. That's all that I've heard.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I mean, if I'm a coach from the other team, I don't want anybody else in the handshake line. They don't need to be there. I think that's a pretty fair, reasonable request.
Right. Yeah,
I'm still trying to understand the reason for him being handcuffed and walked out.
I don't either. That makes no sense.
That's a little much for me. I mean, I get not having another sport in there, but yeah, handcuffed and walk out and nothing got physical. Like I don't understand that.
I don't either.
I guarantee you, he has retained counsel.
It kind of reminds me of kind of reminds me of the crazy story with former Iowa State basketball player Kenny Pratt. This is back. It predates the G League. There was this independent basketball team, and the Des Moines had a team called the Dragons, the Des Moines Dragons. I think Curtis Stinson played for that team at one point when they won the whatever this league was, international something basketball, whatever it was. And so Kenny Pratt comes to town, and he had an arrest warrant out due to an incident when he was still a student in Ames, that he hadn't paid a fine or whatever it was. There was an arrest warrant. The game gets over. He's going through the handshake line and then just runs towards the exit with police chasing after him, chasing down Kenny Pratt. Do you guys remember that story?
That's great.
I remember that story. Shout out to my OG KP. I actually talked to him this week. I actually talked to him this
we
week.
have to get him on the show to talk about
and
that.
I told him a couple of days ago when he called me that we're gonna get on the podcast. He was like, "Yeah, I would love to do that." He, that's been OG. He, for so many years. Everybody know how pivotal he was to my career, even coming in and being a Chicago guy. We just had an adult, a grown man conversation. He got me to tone down the rhetoric a little bit online with Facebook. I don't know if you noticed last couple of days, but he really talked. He really talked some sense and made me understand some different things about what's going on in life. So definitely shout out to KP. He just called me out the blue, Facebook Messenger. As soon as the call came, I was like, "What up, OG?" He was like, "Man, fine." That deep voice. He's just talking. He was like, "You got to calm down, big fella." I said, "I get you. I understand. I understand." He was like, "I'm seeing these posts." He said, I feel where you're coming from, but we got too much at stake. You got to calm down." I was like, I got you. And we talked. We was on the phone about 45 minutes. Talking a lot of real stuff about some things that we've come through, the different things that we've done in life, whatever. And I told him, I said, "Man, we got to get you on the pod. It's on Sunday nights. I don't know what you're doing Sunday nights." He was like, "Man, just let me know. Holler at me and we'll get it done." So, yeah.
Heck yeah. Hey, and we don't necessarily have to talk about that, but it was one thing that came to mind when I saw the coach being handcuffed. I thought, that is some weird stuff. And I bet you guys have seen some odd things either after games or pre-game. They look over and go, "What is that? Just what I just saw?"
Yeah, I've definitely seen some odd things. Some things you think like doesn't necessarily have to go that way. Like, I mean, he didn't have to perk walk him out. I mean, he can, talk to him about what's going on, and then we have a talk like we having a conversation, and we just leave the building. But I guess in today's climate, things people do what they do, and go about the business the way that they feel, see fit or whatever. But I think that was a little excessive.
Little odd. All right, guys. So it's been good to have you on. I think next weekend's maybe we'll see
Super
about
Bowl.
scheduling wise because the Super Bowl. Who you guys got for the Super Bowl? We got Seahawks playing. Who are they playing? Oh, they're playing.
You play the Patriots.
Play the Patriots, but in my mind, I don't see the Patriots winning. I see this as a Seahawks game.
What'd you say?
Like a 35-17 type of game.
I'm taking the Seahawks. Couple reasons, but yeah, I'm going Seahawks. My son is Malachi has been a Seahawks fan since, and I couldn't tell you why or where it came from, but rocking the Seahawks, man. They just watching them play, it's a little different for me. The Patriots look great, but watching the Seahawks move around and defense win championships, say it all the time. So this was going to happen tomorrow. Next week on Sunday.
Yeah, and for me, I think Sam Darnold has always been better than the product that he put out early in his career. I mean, you just got to understand, like, even like leaving college, going to the pros in basketball, that difference of a level. Football is crazier. Like, the athleticism in basketball gets so much higher. In football, like I told you guys before, my wife said, "Well, just run." And he had all that space. And I'm like, as an ex-track star, you should know how fast people are and how quick those guys are coming. So it took some adjustment. He bounced around, has a couple good years, and I think Drake May eventually will be better than him. At this point right now, he just, being a vet, been in the league for some years, I think, Sam is still better than him at this point. And, like Brent said, the defense is just does what it does. I'm pulling for the Patriots. Like I said, last week, the young fellow that's from Dallas, Texas, that went to high school, just actually still best friends with one of my cousins from back home that went to Louisiana Tech. Milton Williams, he won the Super Bowl last year. He's going to be playing the Super Bowl this year with the Patriots. So definitely would love to see the home area kid to get another one. But I'll be a realist about any time I'm watching the games. We got the young fellow, the Darius Sneed, that's from a small town from that area that won with the Chiefs, and Devin White Devin White won with the Buccaneers. They're all from the same area. So to see the young fellas, win Super Bowls, especially win Super Bowls, is really, really big. But, be realistic about it. You would like to see, the Tom Brady being down to the Falcons, having 3 points, what is it, at the halftime, and then coming back to win. You would love to see those type games, but I think the Seahawks are a little bit poised, a little bit better at this point right now to win it.
Hey, Brent, I know you spent some time in the camp of the Carolina Panthers, and Sam Darnold obviously was drafted by the Panthers. Is there any, I don't know, is there any side weird dotted line connection where you sort of have an affinity for Sam Darnold, or does it matter either way?
Yeah, no, not at all. Don't matter to me. Not at all. Nah, man, I just don't. I think Darnold went through enough early on, and he learned so much. The league's a different spot, man. NFL is a different ball game, but I think the success he's had the past couple of years, he's kind of turned it on, and it does your game wonders when you have a defense that plays the way his defense plays. Offensively, it just creates a different level of confidence, man. The guys run a lot harder, blockers block a lot better, and that just kind of changes the game, and it gives him more confidence to do the things that he was doing well in college and start to playing like that again. So, I just think it's his year to do it, man. But we have no affinity. I have no affinity of him being, in Carolina. So.
I just thought I'd ask. Yeah, this team kind of reminds me of the 2000 Ravens with Trent Dilfer. They had that phenomenal Ray Lewis led defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that the Seahawks have that one guy that's outstanding. Just as a collective whole, that defense is phenomenal. But it feels like Sam Darnold is a much better quarterback than Trent Dilfer ever was.
For sure. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he definitely is. Hands down. Defense is not like the 2000 Ravens. Their defense was unreal though.
Nasty.
Reed, Ray Lewis, Goose in the middle, like their defense was bananas. Because I don't know what I'm talking about. Ray Lewis said he was like, "Let's be here, like and score on us." They ran a kickoff back or something like that, and it was 16 possessions, and he read them off. It was like punt, runs, punt, interception, punt. Like there was nothing that they always did. So unreal. They're a good defense, but not quite like that one.
And it's true. You have to miss the Super Bowl.
Man, I'll be on a plane, man. It shit sucks. Yeah, I'm finishing up moving, man. I'm flying to Memphis on Friday morning. Grabbing my mom's stuff out of storage and driving it back down to Houston and then flying back Sunday night. Flight leaves at 8:00. So maybe I'll catch, some of the right before. Yeah, maybe I'll catch some of it, man. But I'll be in it.
You are the ultimate son.
Yeah. We gotta do what we gotta do, man. We gotta do what we gotta do.
I'm not sure I would do that for my mom. I love you, Mom, but yeah. It's a Super Bowl. All right.
It's all good. I can watch it again. They played at the gym. All I got to walk on the Stairmaster. They'll play it right back and forth, no commercials. That'll be even better.
That's true. But the commercials are part of the fun.
They've gotten a little suspect here lately.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They've gotten real cheesy. They used to be dynamic. Here recently, they've been right. I think since Puppy Monkey Baby was the last time they really it was really nice.
Or the Force kid that went out and felt like he was Darth Vader using the Force. Was it like a car, VW car? Anyway. All right. Hey, thanks everyone for joining us. Again, please continue to keep in mind our sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. Again, thank you to Revelton Distilling Company. And I'm sure that by the time we next meet, I'm going to have to get another bottle here of the honey whiskey, which is absolutely outstanding. And again, to Iowa Beef Steakhouse, who they themselves serve some fabulous drinks. And again, to our studio sponsor, Andrew Downs and AKC Marketing. Of course, welcome back to Style by JJ Boutique and Julia Bradshaw. She now has her own show on Three Beards Media. And of course, Billy and Willie's Workshop, I think it's called. They were the actors in the Naked Dave's commercial that is now another sponsor. So with warm weather coming out in Central Iowa, I encourage everyone to get out and shop at their local Hy-Vee and Fairway for Naked Dave's seasoning. So that's it for another episode of Inside the Storm. We'll see you all next time, probably in 2 weeks with the Super Bowl coming up. And go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
Cyclones, baby.
There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking, hear the magic call. We rise together, we'll never fall. There's a cyclone brewing on the outskirts tonight. Jack Trice shakes when the team takes flight. Hilton's rocking.